Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time since I've done a proper episode of Commander Banter. So I figured I'd come back strong with something that I really love, and that's green cards. Oh my god, I love green cards. It's my favorite color of Magic, if you haven't been able to tell from my other videos. So I'm going to go over my favorite green cards. And they're not really in any particular order because I don't really know how to rank them, because some of them have very niche use and some of them have very extensive use. And some of them I just love more than other ones. So you're going to see a lot of stuff like covering, like guys, don't get offended. Like, you can tell me down in the comments below what cards you would have added to the list, what you don't really like on the list. And criteria is easy. I try to keep it cheap. But today, not so much. This was cheap though, it's not super expensive. Crows and Grep. 1 green, 2 others for destroy target artifact or enchantment at instant speed with split second, which means nobody can react to it. It just happens. So if you need something gone and you want that not countered, you got wonderful things in green, like Crows and Grep. It's delicious, it's nutritious, it's good for you, bad for your opponent. Asceticism. I love this card so much. It's like in every card. Every deck I build that has creatures in green, this goes in it. Costs 5 mana, sure, but it means your opponents can't target of any of your creatures with, like, anything. And then you can also pay 2 mana, 1 green, 1 other, to regenerate a creature that died. You don't even have to enchant the creature you want to save. It's just any creature you control. It's great. Here's another cheap one for you. Thank God this card's cheap. I don't know why this card is so cheap, because this card is amazing. For 8 mana, you get 9/9 Elephant. Enters the battlefield, and you can destroy up to 3 target not creature permanents. That'd be like planeswalkers, artifacts, lands. You can even blow up your own stuff. And why would you do that? Because for each permanent that was put in a graveyard this way, the controller of that permanent gets a 3/3 Elephant. So you can blow up 3 of your lands and have 3/3 Elephants. Maybe that's not your way of doing things and you want your creatures to not cost as much and be a little simpler to do. I got a cheap one for you. Avenger Zendikar. He costs 2 green, 5 other for a 5/5 elemental. When he enters the battlefield, put a 0/1 plant onto the battlefield for each land you control. Whenever a land hits the battlefield under your control, you can put a +1/+1 counter on every plant you control. So if you're playing stuff plays lands, they get huge. This one's kind of slowly going up in price, guys. You might want to grab them up while you can. This is Beast Within. It's an instant, 1 green, 2 others. Destroy target permanent. Its controller puts a 3/3 beast into play. That blows up anything. Anything that's giving you trouble. And green can have trouble with a variety of things. This destroys it. Nice and simple. I kind of wish it exiled, but, it's still amazing removal and very splashable for other colors. This one, you can replace it with Llanowar Elves, or Elvish Mystics, or even the Fanhorn Elves from, like, Ice Age. If you just want to, if you're playing Bant colors, there's that noble thing that costs like $60, if you got that. This is simple. It's a flyer. It has no power and 1 toughness. It costs 1 green mana and it taps for 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Mana fixing at its simplest best. This is a toolbox card that I love so much. It's called Bow of Nylea. 2 green, 1 generic for a legendary enchantment artifact. Your attacking creatures you control get Death Touch, and anytime you want, you can pay 1 green and tap the Bow of Nylea. And you can put a +1/+1 counter on somebody. You can do 2 damage to target creature with flying. You can gain 3 life. You can put 4 cards on the graveyard in the bottom of your library in any order. This thing is just so good all the time. Speaking of things that are good all the time and things that it's not as expensive as it was because it recently got reprinted. Grab it while you can. Burgeoning. 1 green. Enchantment, so it's always out. Whenever any opponent plays a land, you can choose a land from your hand and put it into play. If you're playing like a 5-player game, you could have 5 lands like by turn 2. It's just ridiculous. This card is just pure value. It's great. Here's another pricey dude that's on he's going up too, so like, you might want to wait for Modern Masters, see if they reprint it. They better reprint it. Crater Hoof Behemoth. 3 green mana and 5 generic mana for a 5/5 beast with haste, so he can attack immediately. And when he enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. He makes your entire army huge. You have 10 dudes. All your dudes are now +10/+10. And have trample. This is probably the most expensive card on the list. I have one, so, you know, I love this card. Anything to do with tokens. Anything to do with counters. Those Atraxa people building the Super Friend decks lately, the big trend. This is the first card you should put in that deck, because it works for the Planeswalkers, so... Get Doubling Season, if you do anything with anything, because it doubles it. Double good. This is one of those niche cards I was talking about. It's Earthcraft. Some of you may have never heard of it. But it's incredibly abusable, and you'll see how here in a sec. 1 green, 1 other, enchantment. Tap and untap creature control. Untap target basic land. There's enchantments you can put, like Squirrel Nest, onto basic lands that are like tap, put a squirrel into play, and then you... Infinite army. There's other ways to abuse it. It's a very, very niche card, but amazing. This, however, can go in pretty much any deck with green in it. You see, Regrowth was a card that cost 1 green, 1 other, and it returned any card from the graveyard back to your hand. And that was good. Then they added 1 green mana to it and gave it a 2/1 body. That's somehow better. Like, just amazing value here. Get any card you need back and get someone to block for you. And if you have a way to bounce this card over and over and over again, you just value challenge. This one I had trouble with, because, like, I also like Garruk Primal Hunter. I think this one's just generally better. Because it doesn't rely on big creatures to draw you cards. But my god, Primal Hunter, it could take this spot. This one, however, can untap 2 target lands. And those lands could tap for more than 1 mana. They could tap for a whole bunch of mana. So you can see how this is abusable. It's just a solid Planeswalker. Excellent, excellent design. Yeah, you're getting to the fun stuff here. Your Genesis Wave, 3 green, and then however much mana you want to pay. And then you reveal the top X cards of your library, and you can put any number of permanent cards, those are cards that stay on the battlefield, with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. All cards revealed that weren't put on the battlefield into your graveyard. Let's say you pay 12. You dig 12 cards into your library. All permanent cards with a casting cost of 12 or less you can now put onto the battlefield for free. Maybe you'd need a simpler target. This thing's banned in Modern. It keeps the price down, which is amazing. I think it's still banned in Modern. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I think it's still banned. But Green Sun Zenith is 1 green X. Search your library for a green creature card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it into the battlefield. Shuffle your library. Shuffle Green Sun Zenith into your library. So you're going to get it back. And it just lets you go dig for whatever you want if you have the mana to go get it. Amazing, amazing tutor card. Scavenging Ooze. So many games I've played where I just sang over and over in my annoying Majin Buu voice. Ooze, eat you up. Ooze, eat you up. That's what it does. It just grows and grows and grows. And you don't even have to hit creature cards with its ability to make it bigger. Just cards that you can get into the graveyard that you never want to see again. This can eat it. He's also 2/2 for 2. And his ability is just tremendous. This is an amazing card. Get it while it's cheap. Seedborn Muse is a card that is very much creeping up in price. Very much so after Prophet of Crucifix was banned, but that ban was completely understandable. Seedborn Muse is 5 mana for a 2/4. That's terrible, but maybe the ability makes up for it. Oh my god, does it ever. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. So, like, during other people's turns, you can do stuff and protect yourself, and you have all these blockers, and it's good. This is a card that's kind of been expensive for years. But I can't name a better one. Fauna Shaman's fairly close. Survival of the Fittest. 1 green, 1 other for an enchantment. Pay a green. Choose and discard a creature card. Search your library for any creature card. Reveal that card to everybody. Put it in your hand. Go get whatever you want whenever you want. Just pitch something. Now, if you're doing a Reanimator deck, this gets even more ridiculous. Because then you're throwing something away that you're going to reanimate. To go get something else that you're probably also going to reanimate. Sylvan Library is probably my favorite card drawing engine in the game. In Commander, it is even better because in Commander you start with 40 life as opposed to 20. So the cost on this is dramatically reduced. But basically, when you draw cards at the beginning of your draw step, you can draw 2 additional cards. Now if you do, you can choose 2 of the cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, pay 4 life or put the card on top of your library. This enables you to draw more than 1 card every turn if you're willing to pay the life. And we're going to end the list with something that I think everybody knew was going to be on this list that plays Commander and knows what green cards in Commander look like. This is Tooth and Nail. For 1 green, or 2 green, 5 mana, that's 7 mana total. You can choose one of the 2. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Or put up to 2 creature cards from your hand into play. Notice that Entwine too. If you pay 9 mana, you can do both those things. Get your 2 biggest beaters and just crush them. Do you like these top lists? I think these are kind of fun to make. I had a lot of fun with this one because green's my favorite color. If you guys want me to, I can do the other colors. I can tell you what my favorites are. They might not be top 20s because green's my favorite. I have a lot of stuff I could talk about with green. But I would like to do lists. But you guys let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, it's Dottie saying bye-bye.